Live from the back of Bobby D's mother-in-law's she shed, just behind the elementary school in Cohagen, Montana, due to reopen this week. It's a couple of white guys.
How's it going, Bud?
Goes good, Bobby D. Hey, I'm Bud.
I'm Bobby D.
We're a couple of white guys. We're the salt of the earth, the root, the flyover states.
We're the grease that lubricates the wheels of this great big machine called American capitalism.
And I guess what our little show here is to give you the thoughts and attitudes of the folks on the front lines. The sacrificial people, not the essential people.
The working class. We're really not the jet set. We're kind of the old Chevrolet set, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What do you think about the school reopening, Bob?
I was shocked when you told me it was happening. I mean, God bless them. I don't know that it's the prudent thing to do right now. There's 4 weeks left of the year, if that. It seems like it'd be like opening for a month at this point, especially for elementary and middle school kids, I think. Now, I could see doing it for your seniors. You know, come back, blah, blah, blah. But for little kids, and I understand they're probably driving their parents crazy, it for opening for a month, it's kind of like, you know, watching a monkey hump a football.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's fun to watch, but not a lot gets done.
I think if I was a parent, had one there, I wouldn't send my kid back. I'd just say, I'm not going to.
I think that's going to be an interesting stat to track. See exactly. Not only that.
It's a small community in eastern Montana, and they've had no cases or anything in a lot of those counties. Of course, there's no people in them either.
Right. And what about the age? What about the aged staff? I mean, it'd be interesting to see which staff don't show up and which parents say, there's 5 weeks left. We're going to do virtual school, and we'll see you in September.
Yeah, we'll see you in September. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Interesting developments. We talked about this several weeks ago, and I told you that we were going to have a vacation, that this was coming, and we wound up getting 5 weeks for my business. We were shut down before we opened, and you're still furloughed.
I going batshit crazy, actually. I mean, let's just call it like it is. And you were the one that said if they were really going to take it seriously, and this was in March, when it just started getting, and then everybody was complaining about the president not reacting back in January. In January, I thought Corona was just a Mexican beer. But you said in March, if they really wanted to take it seriously, they should shut the world down for a month. Now, I wonder what would have happened if that actually would have happened, rather than this whole morbid track the cases, track the deaths on CNN on a daily basis.
And essential businesses and non-essential businesses. I said shut everything down except the hospitals, and nobody allowed on the streets, and nothing's open. Grocery stores, nothing. There's nothing open. Emergency services,
never
that's
happened.
it.
Grocery stores never shut down.
I guess
stations
you don't,
never shut down.
No, and I guess you don't catch the virus at Lowe's or Walmart or Home Depot.
Safeway, King Soopers,
You only
Kroger's.
catch it at your local little hair salon or pub or corner bar. That's the only place you can get it.
And think about the logic in that. Okay, so for my haircut, for my lack of haircut, okay, you're talking at most 20 minutes. So you're in there interacting with one person for 20 minutes, as opposed to going to a Costco, like say in a suburban area of America, where you're going to be in there for at least an hour. You're going to come in contact with
several hours in line and getting into the store.
And what about in the lines outside? You can't tell me that everybody's always going to be 6 feet away. It's like saying that people are going to. You can't exist in a place like Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, Philly, New York. You can't exist in those places like that. When you're on the subway, you never get this much.
Yeah, right.
You don't get this much space that we're having right now, and they do it twice a day at least, 7 days a week. I don't know what the answer is. I know one thing. I'm glad I didn't have to make the calls.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't live there in those places.
You're not going to get right. And
it doesn't matter what you do. You're not going to get it right with the way the media is. And I think that's a problem, too, that we talked about. In a time like this, when we need them the most to tell us the truth, they still don't.
No.
They politicize it. Mm-hmm. And, folks, when you have all of the media in the world owned by 6 major corporations, it's all fake news and propaganda. And I don't care if you're on the CNN or the Fox side. They're all pushing propaganda and just not giving us the truth.
No.
And that's part of the problem, I think, with what's going on.
I think it's a huge between that and the fact of the absolute lack of leadership, because we haven't really wanted to make leaders so much after World War II. We don't get the truth. We've really kind of encapsulated. Stay home, get on your rectangle. We've been rolling out this project for about 20 years, and now we've got a real good thing to really show how it's better, and we can really remove the humanity from humans. And instead of doing that, what we really need to do is come together regardless of religion, creed, nationality,
political
leaning, and not and have human beings against the virus, rather than talking about what some individuals are saying, be it be off the cuff, be it with sarcasm, being with this trying times, with everybody going nuts because we've been quarantined for 6 weeks. And think about the other countries in the world. I mean, because Italy was having an issue 3 weeks before us, so they're into it 9 weeks, and those guys like to party more than us.
I just watched a video about one of their lawmakers in their parliament going off on them, talking about them padding the numbers and making Italy look like fools because the numbers are actually 60% lower than what they were reporting.
That's what you just got.
He said, Luigi went out and, the mob from Sicily shot him 400 times. And drove his car over a cliff and set it on fire, but he tested positive for COVID, so that's what he died from.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with all them bullet holes. We just hit that. More than ever right now, what we really need is just scientific truth.
Yes.
And the scientists and the pharmaceutical companies right now, and they're saying they're doing this, start working on the vaccine. Because this whole idea of this being the new normal, if this is the case, I really feel really badly for all the people under 30.
Yeah, it's just horrid.
A couple of older farts like us, our race is
pretty much and I guess I
the New World Order.
The New World Order, yeah. I wonder where the money's coming from, actually. I guess I'm not very good at math. How does somebody that's $30 trillion in debt or thereabouts pull another $1 trillion out to give everybody money? I guess I'm old school, but nothing's free.
Well, my only answer to that is, I guess it's one of those things where I'm already almost maxed out. What the heck? I might as well max out the Visa all the way and do that last 1,000.
See how much air you can get in the balloon before it pops.
But the problem is, instead of being a normal 1,000 for an individual, like you said, it was 2 or 3 trillion that we just put on the. At some point, 2 or 3 trillion has got to just make the camel.
Well, I think those folks that bought the toilet paper are probably pretty smart, because that's going to be worth more. You'll be wiping your ass with $100 bills here with the recession that's going to hit.
Oh, and folks, if you really wanted to hedge everything, you might want to think about looking into gold and silver. How about a few weeks ago when you could walk up to the average commodities place and they'd give you $27 and a barrel of oil when oil was minus?
Yeah.
Now, could somebody please explain to me how oil goes into the negatives?
Minus 37 a barrel.
So where is it that I can go and you're going to give me $37
Of course
and I get a barrel of oil? And more importantly, why didn't we make futures call that day on oil?
I know.
Folks, at some point
How do you buy it at 37 negative a barrel?
I honestly, if somebody could just shoot us an email or whatever, tell us how that works.
One of you Cornell math geniuses.
No, because I asked my cousin that was in the oil business, and he said, I'll try to talk to the old man, being his dad, who was in the oil business back in the 70s, like Jerry. And I haven't gotten back yet, because everybody was like, I don't know. And then it went up to it went all the way up to $7 a barrel. Oil had never been $7 a barrel in my lifetime. It never that cheap. Never, ever. It was like between. And what I would like to know is how you kept a commodity like that for so long in between $15 and $25. Because from probably 55 to 8, or well, till the 70 with that first OPEC thing, we were able to keep it right there. In that
well, I don't
sweet
think
spot.
there was a demand,
No, because
people weren't driving and
it was us. It
Yeah.
wasn't the rest of the world, and that's why gas was so cheap here for so long. And let's talk real quick. Let's talk about some positives of what's going on. Number one, gas is under $1.70 a gallon.
Well, but the problem with that is our money value is based on oil.
And the problem is nobody has any money.
Yeah, nobody has any money to go
The
anywhere.
other thing
no, we don't want you to go anywhere either. Don't go on vacation. Stay your ass home.
Nope. And the other thing I can think of is because of this, Mel Gibson is not going to be able to remake The Wild Bunch. So I got two things. But other than that, and hopefully,
was he remaking The Wild Bunch?
That's what they were talking about.
Come on.
I swear to God.
God damn it.
An Aussie. Well, at least Sam Peckinpah's dead. We digress there. Sorry, folks. At some point, what we need to do, and I guess it's going to have to happen or start to happen this November, is we've got, and I know we're not the first persons to say this, but you really have to start. It is up to the individual. Vote every incumbent out.
Really, folks, the Republican National Committee and the Democratic National Committee, those are the enemies, and their propaganda arms the media. These are the enemies of the people. We got to get rid of these guys. No more Republicans, no more Democrats. Look at how absolutely ineffectual our leaders have been. And we need to stop calling them our leaders, our elected officials. They are absolutely worthless. And you know why they're worthless? Because nobody else can run unless the Republicans or the Democrats say you get to. That isn't what our founding fathers had in mind.
No, career
Not
politicians.
when they were career politicians
No, you
were the worst curse on man.
No, you'd go off, you'd run your business, you'd go off, do one stint, come back, somebody else would do it, and like that.
Citizen farmers.
And then everything changed in the 20th century.
Yeah, so we got to get rid of these folks. We got to get rid of them. They're carpetbaggers, and they're fleecing us, and they're continuing to do it. They're fleecing us through the pandemic, people. When we have needy people and you're going to finance the Kennedy Center, come on.
Wake up.
No, but come on.
Come on.
That's why I say we're the voice of reality out here. We're the common guys
who work every day.
Just a couple of white guys.
And that's our.
You like us? Hit that like button
and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Hey, wash your hands.
You filthy animals.